During this holiday season, give your loved ones a gift that keeps on giving for the rest of their life. Torpedo Pot is the only affordable self-growing flower pot that ensures your future food survival. All you do is add soil, seeds, and seedlings to the flower pot and watch your plants grow. Torpedo Pot can grow nutritious food in such abundance and variety that you can produce more food than your local farm. Visit www.torpedopot.com.
Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We back at another race soldier, killing someone in our community, this time by the name of Amir Locke. Now, that happened in the same city where the same police department, Minneapolis Police Department, that killed George Floyd, now they've done this to this particular brother. And in this video, I'm going to say up front, and I'm going to explain why I'm saying this up front, I blame the Democrats completely for this happening. I blame the Biden administration, the Senate Democrats, the House Democrats. I blame all of them for this happening. But I will get to fully why I'm saying this, but let's just get into the story. Now, this brother was sleeping inside of a home, okay, on a couch. The race soldiers come because the police department in St. Paul said they had a warrant for somebody in Minneapolis. Now they all pointing fingers with St. Paul saying, hey, we didn't ask for no no-knock warrant. Minneapolis is the one that did that. So then they turn around and say, well, no, St. Paul's the one told us to go get the person. Well, when the tape came out, the race soldiers opened up the door because they was given the keys. The brother is sleeping on the couch. And they go say something to him about they the police. The brother just wakes up startled. He is a legal carrying person for his firearm. He kind of picked up to see what was going on because he could have thought he was getting robbed, right? No different than Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Coming in the middle of the night, not saying nothing. And then they end up killing this brother. Just like that. And here we go again. Now, you remember during George Floyd, the Democrats kept saying, oh, you see, look all that racism with Trump, see, Trump is the one, and the Republicans, oh, look at them. You got to get us in office because, we'll help you. See, this won't happen again if you get us in office. We going to get a police bill. We're going to end them chokeholds and qualified immunity. We'll get all that. Oh, we're going to get all that. But people who are hardcore supporters of the Democrat Party, now they're even coming out and being pissed off. Now you got this one video that's from a press conference where you had the current police chief and that same mayor, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why y'all put the same mayor back in office after all that mess with George Floyd, but he's going to be there. I want you to watch the clip of the sister Nakima here, and how she's upset about what's going on. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
No, do not. Okay, I'm not a threat. I don't have a gun. Okay, don't treat me like I'm a threat. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, it is. When I agreed to work with you on the work group, we talked about the importance of transparency and accountability. And here what we are seeing is business as usual. And you know this, Amelia. You know this, Jacob. I don't know how you guys slept that night. I couldn't sleep at night. Tears from a mother's perspective, thinking about what happened. I saw the picture of Amir. He looks like a boy. My son is 17 years old. He has slept on his friends' couches for sleepovers. So we cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. You knew that I was not going to stand for police violence and a push for accountability, yet you asked me to be a part of the work group. And I knew what I thought I was signing up for. This isn't what I signed up for. I understand if you're not comfortable having me continue to co-chair, That's your prerogative. I signed up to help bring recommendations because we're tired of being killed. We're tired of the cover-ups. We're tired of the excuses. And to hide behind the St. Paul Police Department, the deadliest police force in the state of Minnesota, is unacceptable. You all had no business agreeing to carry out a warrant, and now you're claiming that's part of their investigation. You don't know. Well, why the hell did you all sign up to do this in the first place? There was a homicide that happened at 1-something in the morning on Hennepin Avenue. Someone was killed, and then the person drove away in a black SUV. They're still at large in Minneapolis, potentially a threat to residents. But you all go do something for St. Paul Police, and now you're trying to hide behind that decision. It's not acceptable. We are ready for change. When the people voted to re-elect you, Jacob, they not only showed that they wanted to see a new leader, right? Not saying you're not the person who got reelected, you got reelected. But what they were expecting is a new beginning. That's why they gave you more power and authority. So that is what we want to see as the residents of Minneapolis. We don't want to see cover-ups. We don't want to see whitewashing. People are asking very simple questions that have still not been answered. Amelia, you're saying you want to be the chief? Then act like it. Demonstrate integrity. Don't cover up for what those cops did. If they knew that the kid had a gun as he started waking up, say, drop your weapon. They didn't do that. One cop opened fire and took the life of a child who was trying to go back into his blanket. Any mom can see what happened there. So I can't tolerate the whitewashing. I'm sorry, y'all. We can't do this. I know you have your narrative. I know you have your script. And no, you guys didn't personally go shoot somebody. But you do have the opportunity to make it right, to talk about the fact that you changed the no-knock warrant policy. Where's the evidence of that? That wasn't present on what happened to Amir Locke. So if I'm going to be the co-chair of this group, I'm expecting strong leadership, I'm expecting integrity, and I'm expecting accountability. Yes. You guys aren't going to waste my goddamn time. And I don't care, you guys have your security trying to stop me. I can be used to come speak the truth about what needs to happen, but when it's time to call out these inconsistencies, these inaccuracies, the lack of information, I got to sit in the back or even not even be invited. I'm not here for it. We fought too long, too hard. There's people in jail, including Cortez Rice, trying to get the court to show what's happening in the courtroom so people can see what's going on. People have put their lives on the line because we're ready for change. So we're expecting from this point forward for you guys to do something different. I'm not playing. We're not here for it. We're not here for it. I'm only committed to working on this work group if you all are committed to being honest and transparent and not covering up the bullshit. Thank you.
Why did you release pictures of his gun, but no pictures of the gun of the officer who killed him? Why have you not released that information? You know, this man did not shoot anyone. He did not discharge his weapon. Why did you release his gun? That was a disgusting vilification of this man. That is inexcusable. It is utterly disgusting that you would release a picture of his gun even though he never fired his weapon. And you know he didn't fire his weapon because you had both seen the video. This is the kind of lack of transparency that Nikita is exactly talking about when you send out these sensationalistic pictures of his gun, a man who has never committed a crime, but you don't release the video, or rather the pictures of the officer's gun.
So, Ms. Gross, thank you for being here, and Ms. Levy-Armstrong, thank you for your strong words. You acknowledged and rightfully pointed out that at this moment in time, we need accountability, we need leadership, and we need transparency. You asked whether we wanted you to continue as co-chair. The answer is yes. We are dead serious about seeing the necessary changes through, and the necessary changes start with being honest and transparent. That begins with all of you here today and releasing body camera footage in the immediacy so that people can see exactly what is in it, good, bad, or ugly. But it doesn't stop there. It goes on to getting the necessary facts of the case, and I know, speaking from experience, that there is an ongoing tension between getting things out quickly and getting things right. We want to get things right. We want to, excuse me, we want to gather the necessary evidence to make sure that we are not telling you something that is inaccurate now, only to correct it a day later.
Why was Amir Locke referred to as a suspect?
And so I'm going to ask...
Why was Amir Locke referred to as a suspect in the MPD's press release?
That's right.
I don't know. So can you speak to that?
You know, now shout out to our sister, you know, for going up there saying that. You know, she said she was working with them for some change and, you know, but they basically BSing. You know, you heard she say, yeah, I know y'all got a narrative and all of that. It shouldn't be no narrative whatsoever. But I told y'all time and time again that as long as these people are running it, it's going to continue being the same way. You understand? Now, the interesting part is, you know, when I had done a podcast about who really voted for the Asian hate crime bill, every Democrat voted for it. Not one was against it. Some chose not to vote in the Senate. I think Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota, she chose not to vote on it. But it's still overwhelmingly passed in the Senate. Now, even after George Floyd, even after all of that went down, they feel, well, look, Chauvin went to jail. I mean, shoot, that's good enough. They didn't give you that George Floyd bill. Listen, if the Democrats would have gave us the George Floyd bill ending qualified immunity, if they would have done this, all four of them cops would have been on the hook for that. They want these race soldiers to have a leeway just to kill with impunity. This is given to them by the Democrats and the Republicans. You understand? I've been doing these stories for years, for 10 years. And I put up a post on our Instagram page. Make sure you follow that. If you're not following it, I don't know why. It's free. You know, we put all of the ways to follow us in the pinned comment. You just go down and just start clicking follow. Too easy for you. But I said in a post that we should not be sharing that video of that brother getting killed like that in a loop. We shouldn't do that. I understand for news reporting purposes, we see it, but everybody sharing that, no. Some people disagree with me. Some people say, no, Phil, we got to show it because that's the only way these people are getting exposed. Listen, I've been doing this going 10 years. This year, 10 years. I've seen from Trayvon Martin to Mike Brown to Philando Castile to Alton Sterling to Sandra Bland to Sam DuBose to with Michael Slager killed Walter Scott. I can just name and name and name. We had videos. We had videos all these years. What has really changed in the 10 years that I've at least been reporting on this? What has really changed? A few race soldiers went to jail. Think about it. What laws have been put on the books for black people in these 10 years? The Asians just got a whole hate crime bill, and they people ain't been getting killed the past 10 years I've been doing this. They didn't have none of their people being gunned down in front of their children like this. And yet the Democrats and Republicans give them a whole hate crime bill and protect them. Y'all don't realize how pissed off that you should be at the Democrat Party, because the Democrats is the one that told all of you, get us in there and we can get this George Floyd bill done. Help us get Georgia, get Raphael Warnock in there and get Ossoff, get him in there and flip the state blue. And we can go to that Senate and we can get this George Floyd bill done. This comes right back to that. Even if you're the most hardcore blue bleeding Democrat black person, can you explain this? Because that's what the George Floyd bill was supposed to prevent. This right here. Another reason why that I am totally against showing those videos is because it creates in you it's a psychological warfare. Do you think the police don't end up shooting and killing other groups of people in this country? Do you really think they only do that to black people? If you do the research, they actually kill more white people than black people every year. But you never see the videos. You never see it in a loop on the evening news. Why? Because they're not waging psychological warfare on white people. They're waging it on you. They're waging it on me. Watching those images constantly and to the point that you feel you can't do nothing about it garners fear in you. You understand? The white media is used to try to keep you in line through fear. Then the fear grows to the feelings of terror. Okay? This is what happens to you in this system of white supremacy. It is strategic that they keep showing you that video of those race soldiers gunning down that brother. Some of you are addicted to trauma. Some of you want or feel like, oh, I got to see that constantly. No, you don't. We can report on the story all day. We can talk about justice for our brother, and we do not have to put that out there all the time in a loop, watching that video. We don't need to watch that. There's no reason for us to watch that. When we should be more pissed off at the Democrats. And then the Democrats, what they try to do is say, well, it's the Republicans. Every single time you tell them, oh, wait, no, it's not the Republicans, nothing. You got the White House, you got the Senate, you got the House, and you saying it's the Republicans? It's always the Republicans. It's always an excuse why you can't do nothing for black people. But if you go down the line, look at everything that the Biden administration has done for other groups, and I've covered that on my podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, the Phillip Scott Audio Experience. That's what we even have that on YouTube as well. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to it because we cover more in depth, just in a longer format during the podcast of what these Democrats have been doing to black people. Okay? They haven't done nothing for us. You got in line to vote for this thing right here with our brother Amir Locke, and they did not deliver on that. Forget that voting rights crap. I can care less because that's nothing but a finesse to get people who aren't even citizens of this country to vote. It has nothing to do with you. We all got our right to vote if we want to choose to. Now, make sure you check yourself before you vote. You know, I will say that because now they're pulling this stunt about trying to jail black folks, but that's another story I'll be covering. But this is solely on the shoulders of the Democrat Party completely. And in that state, Democrat city, Democrat mayor, Democrat governor. At least in Kentucky, and I think Kentucky's a red state, they came out with Breonna's law. You mean to tell me they couldn't do Breonna's law federally? Where it say, hey, you can't do no-knock warrants in this country at all? But the thing is, if you're in the qualified immunity, you won't have these issues and problems. So we got to lay that solely on the shoulders of the Democrat Party. Now, you have the midterms coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Remember all of this. In these midterms in November, these Democrats are sitting up there want you to go, oh, black people, we need you to come out and vote. No. For what? Well, where's our protection? You gave the protection to the Asian community. You gave it to them. Well, where's the Asian equivalent of George Floyd? They don't even have it. But yet they get more. They get a federal protection, and we don't get it after we've been suffering for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, the whole country was upside down. People in other countries were protesting about George Floyd. And you mean to tell me after all of that, even after international embarrassment, because it was international embarrassment for you, George Floyd. People in other countries say you go around talking about human rights and all of that, and look what's going on in your country. Even after all of that, you still stick to your guns of not doing right by black people. I want black people to look at that. Even in the face of international embarrassment, they still do not want to do right by black people. So black people got to respect ourselves enough to say no more with that with you. We're not giving no votes to no Democrat Party. Because all you do is finesse black people. You play a game. You say, oh, this one is Jim Crow. Oh, this one's a racist and all of that. But you more racist than they are. You the real racist. Let's call it what it is. They are front with their racism on the right wing. I get it. I even respect that because they are front with it. But you worse because you act like you're a friend of black people. And look at this is what you do. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I can't do nothing for you. Sorry. But then you could turn around and go give a bag to $5 Indians. You can go give a bag to them. Meaning you gave a bag right back to yourself. So, yes, you pissed off about Amir Locke. Yes. But you be more pissed off at the Democrat Party. It is their fault. Because this is the reason why black people got up to vote in the first place, because of this same city all over again, ladies and gentlemen, all over again. And I want to hear all you hardcore Democrat people in our community. I want to hear you come up here and tell us why we should continue to support you. And no answer could be the Republicans. I don't want to hear nothing about the Republicans. I don't want to hear a thing about them. I'm tired of that, because every time we ask you to call you on the carpet about what you're doing, well, the Republicans like, no. We asking you to give account for what you do, not what they're doing. Remember, black folks voted overwhelmingly for Democrats. So why are you even bringing them up? Once again, this that happened to Amir Locke is the sole fault of the Democrat Party. And the people of Minnesota, you went and voted this guy right back in. Like, what's wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Y'all couldn't say, look, we needed somebody else. Listen, this guy not going to make it. He didn't handle this right. He got to go. Y'all couldn't even do that. That blue no matter who crap that y'all came up with last election cycle, this is the result of it right there. Now, if you respect yourself enough and you show them there's a consequence politically for not doing what you say for black people, then they will get online and do for you, right? But you have not shown that. Because I told y'all before, I'm not trying to become no permanent underclass. It don't matter how well I do or some of you do in America. If we collectively are permanent underclass, we are all in the same position. And if we don't have no protection, we can't sleep in our home. Like, look, Botham Jean was another one. The brother sitting in his home eating ice cream. And then here come Amber Geiger gunning that brother down in his own home. This is not the first time this has happened, folks. You don't want that to be a norm, that these race soldiers could just waltz up in your house and gun you down, and you ain't got no criminal record. The brother had no criminal record at all. He didn't commit any crimes. Matter of fact, he had family in law enforcement. That's why he wanted to make sure he was legal in everything he was doing, even with his firearm, right? And don't even tell me nothing about black people and firearms, because black people got every right to have a firearm, a legal firearm, no different than white folks. I don't want to hear all that. We are citizens too. But this is the sole fault of the Democrat Party, and I'm not going to let up on that. And any of you that's going to talk about this, lay the fault at the feet of the Biden administration and the Democrat Party, because this is all their fault, because they sat up there and said, Trump this, Trump racist, the Republicans racist, look at all this racism with them, and then they didn't do the main thing that black folks voted for them to do when they went up there. But he did everything for everybody else, though. And we back in the same position prior to it. Well, leave me a comment. Let us think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, let your voice be heard. And yes, you have every right to be angry, and they need to politically pay for it. I refuse to sit up here and vote for a party that's going to just treat my people like that. No, they're so disrespectful. They're highly disrespectful to us. And they think we're so stupid. They think we were so silly. But, in a way, we have been silly, and we have been stupid politically, because when that man told you you're not black unless you vote for him, and black folks still voted for him, that was a new low for black America. So please correct it. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. Living in America as a black person, you recognize there is one set of laws for you and one set of laws for those, especially in the white community. In our book, Passive Aggressive Racism in the System of White Supremacy, I take you through times in my life when I first started noticing white supremacy. We teach you how to recognize it, identify it, and also counter it in our book. This book is a beginner's course for those that are just starting to wake up and open their eyes to see the system of white supremacy. As a black American person, you must understand this system, because this system is life or death to you. How you handle it, how you deal with it, it can affect your mental health if you don't understand this system. Pick up our book, Passive Aggressive Racism in the System of White Supremacy, today on Amazon.